Yeah,
we got the race we were hoping for.
Yeah, whatever that lady's name. Crash at turn 7 this morning in the warm-up. The light rain is still starting to fall. Let's hope
on the curbs, so they'll be looking to stay off those when they can. First win is a brand new circuit by Marc Marquez. Of course, he won't be doing that today. And of course, when we returned to...
Yeah. Delayed on the lights, the red light underway here. MOTOGP action underway in Indonesia. Big wheelie off the line there for Jorge Martin. Forming star from Miguel Oliveira on the number 88 factory KTM. Quartararo, the poleman, gets the whole...
Round wide into turn 1. He's got Jorge Martin beside him. Rin's got a brilliant start from the third row of the grid. He's
looking for pace. He ran a little bit wide there. Then he coming through turn number 11. Thought he was going to get swallowed up by Fabio Quartararo. Missing 4th place.
And the championship leader, Enea Bastianini, he's all the way down in 15th spot. So Miguel Oliveira has a little bit of a look at Jack Miller. Quartararo's hanging on to them. It looked like he might slip backward.
Guys, when you think that they've had no proper wet weather experience around this Mandalika in qualifying conditions on soft slick tyres yesterday, amazing lap times, amazing coaches.
A little bit surprised that the other Ducatis aren't quite as competitive as we thought in these early stages. Jorge Martin starting to make progress back through the pack now after his poor start. He's back up into 9th.
And Miller mullered them on that. So easy there to lock the front and wash out the front end of that Suzuki. Quartararo pretty quickly here because they can see the top two men, Miller and Oliveira, much faster.
This lap, he's 1.5 seconds back now on the leaders, but he's managed to cover his line pretty well into turn 16. Riz in 4th position with Zarco and Mir just up behind them. And now we cut back to Jorge Martin.
And Zarco couldn't get through. Quartararo's getting swallowed up though. Rins and Zarco picking here for the world champion. Alex Rins now has got his hands full. 2 flying Frenchmen all over his rear.
Here's what happens to Fabio Quartararo. I said earlier on in the warm lap, don't touch the curbs. And Fabio Quartararo got on
early pace by the Australian. Oliveira on that last lap was also a 1:41. What Zarco can do now, they've got
Jack Miller, who we've so often seen excel in these kind of conditions. Miguel Oliveira, well, while these two are pulling away from the gap behind them, the likes of Alex Rins and Johan Zarco.
So it's the Aussie Jack Miller, always super strong in these tricky rain conditions. That's how on earth has he stayed on board that kicked sideways big time.
World Championship leader is sinking without trace, and Enea Bastianini is down in 20th position at the moment.
He's having an absolute horror show out there. Likewise Maverick Vinales, who's marooned down in 22nd. Of Jack Miller coming into turn 12.
Yeah, he looked like he'd been shaping up to do that for a couple of laps now. Oliveira looking out front. They're still continuing to break away from the field behind them. Only really Alex Rins and John.
Yeah, the top 4 men on that last lap were about to start lap 6. They were the only 4 in the 1 places before. Rain or shine. Oh, that's Bagnaia. How on earth did he save that? That was even better than the Martin save.
Yeah, the behind Brad Binder, who's starting to make some gentle progress on the KTM. He ended up to the top 8. Unfortunately now for the Repsol Honda man, the sole Repsol Honda man in the race, he's starting to slip back.
Curbs, lighting up his rear tyre, nearly flung to the moon. Distant sidekick for the Portuguese man, who again finds another fastest lap.
Like he's stabilised a little bit with his pace. He's running pretty comfortably now in 5th position. He's matching the lap to come from the 5th row of the grid, and he's making pretty good progress in 9th position. Brad Binder just behind Miguel Oliveira and Alex Rins, but still an awful long way to go in this race as Paul Espargaro,
who's probably just still relieved to be part of this Indonesian Grand Prix. Simon, down to you.
You end up on there by the time you know it's too late, but the good news is the rain's
problem here for Andrea Dovizioso, normally one of the strongest wet weather riders in Mondovi's face. That doesn't look like he's made a mistake and crashed. It looks like that Yamaha has gone. Martin, Jorge Martin, and unfortunately it's back-to-back D. Bolt upright.
Right on that wet patch.
Just on that wet patch. Franco Morbidelli had a lever, and on that little river that was running across the circuit, nothing he could do. So we've lost Martin from 7th.
Well, Miguel Oliveira continues to chip away.
Binder start the season with a brilliant 2nd place in Qatar. At the moment, Miguel Oliveira, astonishing. What high grip levels we've got here in the rain.
Absolutely. Once again, the next fastest rider on to see what's happened to Paul. He's touched the white line and he's gone way off track.
Wow, that was a monument potentially. It's just where they're finding themselves with the spray and the visibility. 22 seconds the gap as Oliveira comes to the final sector.
Well, the WithView R&F team may have looked. Rins has also got Johan Zarco pretty close behind him. Zarco running wide. And then Enea Bastianini, who was near enough last earlier on in the race, but he's now starting to lap in the low 1.
That gap. Zarco's got to be patient here. There's a couple of times as he's got close, but despite that mistake up at turn 11 on that last lap, he did find a 1:39 Mandalika circuit. He was 4 tenths quicker than your race leader Oliveira.
Yeah, he's going position, led by Luca Marini. He's got Brad Binder just behind him. Pecco Bagnaia, though, is chasing.
The move's coming. Yeah, Zarco's lined that up brilliantly. Into turn 12, it was all about the third.
Yeah, Zarco's had a long time between podiums, hasn't he? Not since the first half of last season. He was.
Yeah, Oliveira again took another 0.8 of a second out of Miller on that previous lap. 0.7 seconds behind Quartararo. The problem for Jack Miller here.
It won't be long before this young South African is battling with the pre-season title favourite Francesco. Between himself and Jack Miller, it started the lap at 1.2 seconds.
Bastianini, but he's given himself so much work to do. Lacking confidence, lacking feel. Maybe happened to Rins coming out the final corner because he's just all of a sudden lost contact. Zarco ahead of him. What's going on here with Alex Rins? Has he got some kind of a problem? Because Quartararo just eases on in Paul Espargaro earlier in the Grand Prix.
We did a 1:39.9 that moment. Miller holds strong in second place.
There's no need here for Zarco to take these kind of, given the brilliant speed of the Frenchman, that 1:38.935, the grip level.
Incredible stuff from him. Johan Zarco then closing in on the back of Jack Miller as they come across his clear visor, as we see the concentration from the Portuguese. Jack Miller, actually, to his credit, was
mistake going into turn 16 as well, which has lost him further ground here to Fabio Quartararo. So
Rins was slower than him. Here is the battle for second place. Then you can see just how much more speed Johan Zarco is able to carry into 12. Will he have a look into 13? No, he's not. He doesn't have to, as you say, be too impatient.
On that With You RNF Yamaha, he's keeping his brother Brad honest right now.
And then I think his progress might be slightly more difficult, but Darren Binder putting in an exceptional performance on the Wico. This is where Zarco will be able to get the slingshot as we head down into turn 10. Is he going to go the inside?
And found his rhythm, found his confidence. Having started in the lead, he's getting himself right back into this.
Has he left his brake a little bit too early? No, that's beautifully done. Quartararo, who at one point looked as if he was positioned.
Yeah, he knew there, as long as he had Zarco on his outside in his peripheral vision. Oh, Martin, and he does indeed lose that spot.
Oh!
And Zarco.
It's quicker even than the leader, Miguel Oliveira, although with 5 laps to go so far. He has a little look at the inside of Quartararo, but
resistance going on here. He can't resist anymore, though, can he? Quartararo up the inside. Quartararo, his last 5 or 6 laps have been sensational. The World Champions ride weeks ago, and of course, crucially, looking strong in the rain conditions, where perhaps in the
place finally.
Oh, I just have a heart in my mouth there because we didn't see Fabio Quartararo. I was thinking, oh, in that second split, the gap down to
left-hander. Has he been able to respond? It looks as if he's just been able to do enough on this lap as he comes out of it.
1:39.205. That could be decisive. That could be a pivotal moment.
Yeah, that's not a place we used to see people overtake, but Bastianini carving his way through.
He doesn't want fireworks from him in his Moto3 career, but Bastianini can't find a way through. Bastianini in the sandwich, and he's the one that comes out on the wrong side of it. Binder got through. Plays, but it's about to get better because Oliveira on course here for a famous first win.
Corners away now from a crucial and very well-deserved victory.
Into Mandalika, a famous win here for Katie. First Indonesian Grand Prix in a quarter of a century. A brilliant podium. Really good second place there.
For Malaysia Spargaro, Darren Binder, a terrific top 10 for him on the With You.